Hello and welcome back to this Moon Messages reading. God, it really doesn't seem like it's been that long since the last Moon Messages. These 2 weeks just fly by. Okay, so if you don't know me, all of my details are in the description box. I'm not going to ramble on like I normally do at the start of the video. So you can check out all of my information there, as well as information on booking a private reading. But I will just explain, if you haven't heard of these videos before, I just read the moon messages, so the energies of the next moon cycle. So the next moon cycle is going to be from the new moon in Libra on the 25th of September until the full moon in Aries on the 9th of October. And I will do another one in 2 weeks time for the full moon to the new moon, and I tend to alternate. Okay, so I'm just gonna read through the cards that have come out for this moon cycle. I read the moon cards and then the crystal of the moon cycle as well. So here we go. So they came out in pairs. So it's almost like there's a message of kind of like sticking together, because there's like 6 cards that have all stuck together. So it's like kind of there's an underlying message, or kind of a hidden message behind everything, which is about sticking together, whether that's sticking together with friends, with colleagues, with family members, with partners. If you're going through things, I feel like you need to stick together. So you need to get support, you need to get help, okay? Don't try and do things on your own. So that's kind of strange how that's just come through right at the beginning without even looking at the cards, but that's literally the first thing that's come through. Okay, so we've got the first pair that we've got are keep your heart open and be proud of yourself. Now, if you watched the last 2 moon messages, you'll know that be proud of yourself was a theme, and it's still a theme. So we're still in that energy, okay? So we're still in the energy of being proud of ourselves, being happy about who we are, about what we bring to the table. You're probably going to start seeing more of your gifts, because I think when you start to notice things about yourself that you like, that you're proud of, that you can say that you really love, or you can kind of big up yourself, and without being kind of big-headed or anything, when you can like notice these things and you start to sort of say, oh, actually I do like this about myself, and I'm really proud that I'm like this sort of person, it will then kind of help you see other things about yourself that you like, and it will also help other people see those things in you as well. So like I say, this isn't about being big-headed or kind of egotistical or vain or anything like that. This is just about really recognizing who you are, and really recognizing your values and your worth. Okay, your value and not your values, your value and your worth, which I've talked about in the last 2 videos actually. But yeah, this is it's about recognizing that, and when you recognize that, you kind of, I think you become a stronger person. You become like someone who can stand up for yourself more. You can speak up for yourself more, and you can ask for what you want and what you deserve and what you need, okay? And you find it easier to do that. And yeah, you can also set boundaries around, the things that you need to do for you and what's best for you, because you know what you're worthy of, okay? So there's also a message about keeping your heart open, and I feel like that's something you need to continue to do to yourself, okay? So it's about keeping your heart open to yourself, keeping those loving words coming. When you say to yourself, oh, I really look good today, I look really pretty today, or I love what I'm wearing today, or I feel good today, or oh, I was really good at what I did today at work, or oh, I'm really building my confidence. Whatever you find yourself saying in the positive, just keep doing it, remember it, Keep finding new things to tell yourself that are good about yourself, because the more you do it, the more it will come naturally and the more you will find, okay? So yeah, that's just something to kind of help you with that Be Proud card, because I know that came up in the last moon messages. So if you are working on that still, they're things that can help you to continue that and just keep that going forward, okay? The next two cards we have, oh, and I just want to go back to that sticking together thing. I think there's a message here about like being around the right types of people who are going to help you with that. So I think I did mention in the last moon messages about being around people who are going to say good things about you, who you know, you might have a friend who will say, oh, you're such a good listener, or something like that. And just make sure you stay around those people, because that's going to really help you to keep that at the top of your mind, okay? So the next two cards we have that are sticking together are Think It Through and Lighten Up. Okay, now what I get here is the thing about thinking it through. I feel like it's about kind of not overthinking things. So, and also I'm seeing someone just sitting there kind of like really contemplating things and really thinking hard, and like to the point where they get a headache. And I feel like this is telling you to just stop overthinking things. I think if you, I've got a feeling that someone is kind of like trying to think of ways in which they can like improve themselves, or they feel like there's a word pressure coming up. So I don't know if someone's under pressure, or there might be a feeling of pressure in this next moon cycle. You might feel a sense of pressure to do things, or to be someone different, or to try new things like really quickly, and it's making you kind of overthink and making you think, oh, what can I do next, or how can I be better, or how can I improve myself? And just be careful with that, okay? You don't want to be rushing things, and I think that's why it says lighten up, okay? So it's like lighten that load. Don't overload yourself with too many things to do, or too many things to like fill your day with, or fill your life with. Or, you know, you might be someone who's kind of like thinking, oh, I really want to improve myself because now I've got this now I feel much better in myself, and I know my worth, and I know my value, and I'm good at this, and I know I can apply myself, so I think I should do this, this and this. And I feel like you kind of might be like rushing things or pressurizing yourself to do something really quickly. So just be careful not to over pressure yourself, overload yourself. Lighten it up a little bit, take it step by step, bit by bit. Okay, so I always give examples. I'm going to give you a little example that's just come to mind for me. So I have a plan now that I want to try new things, and I want to push myself out of my comfort zone, and you know, do more things on my own that I wouldn't normally do, more fun activities, or traveling, and you know, all different things. And I could easily, and I had a conversation with a friend recently about it. They were like, what's next then? And I was like, oh, well, I want to do this and this and this, and they came back and they said, just be careful not to kind of like, you know, get ahead of yourself, and don't write a long list, because it can become overwhelming, and then you might talk yourself out of it, you know, because you'll be too overwhelmed with you know, the long list of things, and you're like, oh no, I can't do that now, because you've overwhelmed yourself. So this is like a prime example. So if you've got loads of ideas that you want to do, or things that you want to try, or you know, something along those lines, yeah, just don't do it all at once, or don't try to do it all at once. Just take it step by step, bit by bit, okay? And again, I've just gave an example because those cards are sticking together. It's like, use your friends for that as well. Like I just gave that example. One of my friends helped me see that. So it might be that you need to pay attention to what your friends are telling you. I mean, sometimes advice can be not that great, because it can lead you away from your own intuition or instincts. However, you know, sometimes it can be helpful and can be good advice, because it could stop you from feeling pressured or feeling overwhelmed. So just like pay attention to your intuition when you're listening to friends and what their advice is. Okay. Next card is on its own, so it's not using a friend or sticking together with someone. How it's on its own. So I feel like this is kind of like a choice that you have to make on your own. This is something that's just for you, okay? Something for you to contemplate. So this is attune to the divine. Okay, so I feel like this is where you have to really connect with your true self, your intuition. Like I just said, you have to really pay attention to what's going on inside of you and what you believe. Okay, so when it mentions the divine, it's always something to do with this, with spirituality, with connection, with what you believe in, all of that. So this is like really paying attention to what you believe is right for you, what you believe in, what you believe is the truth, and what feels right to you. So it might be that you need to kind of go in a certain direction, or if someone says something about you and it's not true because it doesn't feel right in your body, I feel like you need to speak up, or you need to really own that and be like, no, like this is my truth, this is what I believe in. So I can hear the word stand your ground, and I think I might mention that earlier, I'm not sure. Stand your ground or speak up or something like that. So that's definitely coming through as a theme. So yeah, that's really, I don't know why that's just taken me it's taken me somewhere. I feel like I'm kind of like floating around now trying to find something else to talk about. That's weird. Yeah, so I know why though. This is interesting. Okay, so it's just made me go a bit like floaty. All right, I feel like I'm kind of floating on my own a bit, because if you notice all of the other cards, so I'm going to bring up the next two cards in a bit, which are also linked together, so they're like sticking together, and it's almost like you've got someone else in every single card. There is one that's on its own I'm going to talk about in between, but most of the cards are stuck together. They're with someone else. So this is almost like you might feel like when you're on your own that you might struggle a little bit. You might feel like you're just out on a limb and you're like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? But this is guiding you back to yourself. It's guiding you back to your heart, your truth, your intuition. Your body will always, it's kind of like your body is your friend, or your intuition is your friend. It's going to be that other part to stick with, if that makes sense. Because when you're out on your own, you're not ever really out on your own. Okay, and you have to remember that. You've got your spirit, you've got that connection, you've got the divine, you've got whatever you believe in. Okay, you've got that with you. You're never ever on your own. So if you feel like you're making choices on your own, or you're just out on a limb and you're like, I have no idea what to do, just remember this card. Okay, remember the divine, remember your heart, your soul, your body will always guide you. Okay, so I'm going to go to this card, which is kind of like last week. It fell on the floor, and it was almost like it was saying, we need to, what did it say? Something like, we need to get rid of this, or we need to throw this away, or something like that. And I wasn't sure whether to pick it up, but I thought, no, I will, because it was screaming at me. It was like, pick me up, but you're not gonna really need me. So it was almost like, this is interesting. I've just realised why that is as I was talking. So you're not going to need me. Okay, so you don't always need somebody else to be with you. So it might be that you worry sometimes that you might always need someone to be with you. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay, so just going back to my own example, I'm going to show you the card actually. So the card is assess the situation. Okay, and it's making more sense as I go along. So yeah, you might feel like if you are ever on your own, you might feel like, I can't do something. Like my example, for instance, if I want to travel on my own, I always used to need someone with me. I always used to needed to stick with someone, right? Because I always worried about getting lost, or something bad happening, or like my safety, things like that. And I would always like ask the other person to navigate, or to drive me there, or do you know what I mean? So I was always relying on someone else to help me, to guide me, okay? So this is like a card to say you don't always need that, right? So you can throw that away sometimes, and that's why it was on the floor, okay? So it's like, assess the situation, look at the whole picture, and really ask yourself, attune to yourself and your intuition, okay? Because this is the other card's on its own. Pay attention to the truth within you, because your higher self and your intuition will always know the truth. Assess the situation and say, do I really need someone else with me, or am I okay on my own? Is there certain things in place, or certain ways in which I can get help or support if I need it? So an example of that would be, I would always worry that I would get lost in an airport if I'm on my own. I really need someone else to be with me, but actually I don't, because there's always someone there to ask, whether it's a staff member or someone in the airport, like going on holiday. I'm sure somebody would help me, you know, or I'd worry about the other end. How do I get to my hotel? Will I be okay getting to my hotel? Well, yeah, I just ask someone in the airport, or I phone a taxi, or, you know. So there's always a way, and you don't always need somebody to be with you, okay? So that's an example. Obviously it's going to be different for everybody, but this is the energy that's coming through. It's like an energy of worrying about whether you're going to be okay on your own, whether you're going to always need someone. And this could be in relation to relationships, partnerships. You might be on your own, you might be single, and you might be worrying that you're not going to cope on your own. And actually you're pretty capable of coping on your own, and you don't need somebody else. You might have felt in all of the years before that you needed somebody else, and actually you don't. And it's not to say you're going to be alone forever and you need to be. It's not that at all. But what it's saying is that you need to know that you are okay on your own, and you are perfectly capable on your own. You're strong enough on your own. You're safe on your own. You can trust yourself, and you can be happy on your own as well, okay? So that's for the people who are obviously in that situation as well. But this can apply to any situation where you feel like you might need somebody else there, all right? And then finally, we've got the last two cards for the moon messages, which are a pair again, so sticking with someone or sticking with something. Actually, that's a new thing that's come through, so that might be a message for these two cards in particular. So they are clear your mind and shine, okay? But actually the shine card was first and then clear your mind. When I read it, I thought, oh, it should be the other way around. But I think what it is, it's like, in order to shine, you need to clear your mind. And then once you clear your mind, you will shine. Okay, so again, it comes back to this overthinking, I think. Yeah, the overthinking card and lighten up. Okay, so you're overthinking things. You've probably got lots of fears in your mind about things, worrying whether you can do things on your own, or but this is like just telling you again to clear your mind. Okay, get rid of all of those negative thoughts and beliefs, and try to see things differently. And what I'm going to say here is to use the shine card, is to shine a light on the future. Okay, so imagine you've got a torch, and imagine you're pointing it in the direction of your goals or your dreams and what you're aiming for. So if you are for instance, you're wanting to travel on your own, you're wanting to get to a certain destination on your own, imagine in your head you've got this giant torch and you're shining it on that, and you're focusing on that. Okay, and the more you focus on that, the more these things, the more your fears, your limiting beliefs, your worries, your doubts, all of that will disintegrate, because the light on your goal will actually be brighter, okay, and it will be bigger. And I think I did talk a little bit about this in the last moon messages as well, which makes sense because they do obviously, you know, carry on from each other, and you're still going to have some of the energy from the last cycle in this reading, so it makes total sense. So make your goals and your dreams bigger than your fears and your worries and your doubts, because that's what's going to carry you forward. And always pay attention to the way your body feels and the way that it makes you feel, in terms of like, do you get excited when you think about doing this thing? And how does it make you feel when you're thinking about your fears and doubts and all of that? And which feeling would you prefer to have? Okay. So they are the moon messages. I'm going to bring through the message of the crystal of the moon cycle. So the crystal of the moon cycle is really pretty. I love it. It's really bright as well. It's a pink sapphire. And it's number 44, which is stability. It's in alignment with your true self. It's security. It's all of the good things. Okay. So the message of the pink sapphire, the meaning is forgiveness, choosing to heal, acceptance, letting go, and soothing the heart. I'm going to read out the message now. So, have you heard that forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself? Pink Sapphire spirit message to you is not to concern yourself with the law of karma right now. For while your loving heart wants to see justice served for the good of all, in this moment you are called to align yourself with the universal laws by choosing to heal yourself. It's time to start the process of forgiving those who did you harm, and that means deciding consciously that they will not determine your story of who you are and what you've experienced. For you are a powerful storyteller and co-creator, and you will tell a heroic tale of overcoming that which has caused you pain. Your willingness to engage in healing, to free yourself from your past and soothe your heart is an awesome superpower. Pink Sapphire Spirit is here as a reminder that you can do the work, that walking through the forge of fire and letting go of the pain will remake you strong as steel going forward. You will persist as you embrace the wisdom you have earned. Find the power to say never again by making the choice to heal yourself and forgive yourself for not knowing better. Positive things are to come, and you can rest assured that the conscious universe is your ally in this process of healing, acceptance, and forgiving. Relationship message. Embrace your power for healing now, says Pink Sapphire Spirit. And that means turning inwards instead of concerning yourself with others at this time. Let go of any urge to go over all that went wrong or to relive the past. You deserve to feel joy, confidence, and faith. To do so, you must let go of the old stories and release the pain that is no longer serving you. Sometimes it lingers, so if you feel it coming up, let yourself experience it on its way out of you. Have a good cry, vent, get all that energy out of you, and then feel yourself filling up with the love and acceptance you deserve. Coming to you courtesy of the love bearer, the conscious universe. Pink Sapphire Spirit is here to remind you that you are all you need to be. You are whole and beautiful, and the conscious universe knows how very strong you are. Prosperity message. Claiming the affluence you desire means letting go of the belief that you do not deserve it. Forgive yourself today for what you didn't know or didn't do, and commit fully to healing the self who mistakenly believed your destiny was to live in scarcity. That is not what the universe wants for you. Forgive the universe for seeming to be absent at times. Forgive yourself for getting in your own way. Forgive others for not being who you wanted them to be. Clear away the old stories to make room to co-create abundance and tell a new story of overcoming challenges and owning your strength. The conscious universe really does want you to have all that you need, so clear the way through the powerful act of forgiveness. Crystal Spirit Meditation. Pink Sapphire teaches forgiveness and assists us in moving past old fears and into a space of being open to not only giving love, but receiving it as well. Meditation with this stone helps to open the heart and ease the emotions, especially those related to relationship wounds. Wow, this is so strange. So as I started, I didn't even know the message of this crystal at all. As I started reading this card or this message, I was shocked because my friend's just been round and I was actually having a conversation with her about forgiveness tonight. So that's just really strange. It's made me go all tingly because it's just so spot on, like with everything I've just literally talked about. So it did mention about opening the heart there. It did mention about relationships. So those who are struggling with relationship issues at the moment, that message I feel is more linked to you guys, but it can also link to the people who are needing to open their heart to themselves. So like when I said about opening your heart to you know, remember good things about you and take on board what other people say about you and continue that, it's all part of the forgiveness process. So it's about forgiving yourself for any times that you've been cruel to yourself or cruel to others, or you know, made mistakes. And so yeah, I really feel quite emotional with that card actually. So yeah, I do feel like it does link with the other cards, but it does feel like a separate message as well for those who are struggling with forgiveness or with relationship issues. Okay, so that is they're the moon messages for the next moon cycle. It feels very different to the last one actually, even though there's similar messages, but it does feel like a different energy. I feel like it was shifted into a different energy, but I do feel like it's warming up. I feel like it's kind of like more nurturing and more caring for you, and more kind of embracing who you are and pushing you forward as a person. So it feels really good. So yeah, that's the moon messages. If you liked it, give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please, I don't know if I'm going to post this on Instagram because I'm not sure if it will go that long, but if I do, thank you for watching on Instagram. Please give it a like on there as well. And yeah, if you do want a personal reading as well, all my details are in the description box. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next moon messages. Bye.